We up in here, man. It's a surprise live, right? I just feel like talking, right? Yeah, man. About why I stopped doing music, you know? And I mean, I might be walking around and stuff, man. So you're gonna see the camera move and all sorts of stuff, man. Somebody might pop out the door and be like, Daddy, or something like that, right? But yeah, man, I just wanted to talk, yo. I just wanted to talk, man. So hold on, let me try to take a seat. I try to take a seat. Right. Yeah, man. The sun is glaring. Let me move this over like this, right? So you guys can all hear me. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in, man. You know. So yeah, man. Uh, as this coronavirus thing, man, puts everybody home, and keep everybody in the house. I just felt like, why not? Why not communicate with everybody and have a chat right quick, right? You know. So here's the issue, right? When I started doing music back in the days, right? Because I'm 40 years old, man. I'm a geezer to a lot of y'all, right? But yeah, man, when I started doing music, it wasn't like how it is now, right? So music now is a lot more affordable to do, right? You could have a computer, you could have like a software program on your computer, right? You go and you buy a mic for like $50 or something like that, right? And you have at it. You do your thing. You record your music, you make your music, you upload it through a digital distributor, you put it up for sale, and try to get it on Spotify, get on a Spotify playlist. Once you get on a Spotify playlist, everything kind of like takes care of itself, right? Or not takes care of itself because there's still a lot of work involved. But there's a possibility that you get on that Spotify playlist and that you get all of these streams and you make some money and you get some accolades, right, from people shouting you out and all of that type of stuff, right? But back in the days, man, it wasn't like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Going to the studio cost a lot of money and it took a lot of time. So you was talking about, maybe uh $80, $100 an hour, right? And you got the era where it came to the two tracks where people would just bring a CD with the instrumental on it and rap over it, right? But we used to have to come with equipment, right? The keyboard and everything, and basically remake the beat in the studio. So whenever you went and recorded music, it was like about like a 10-hour block, right? So a studio session was like a 10-hour block. So you're talking about, maybe there's a lot of money, man. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it was a lot of money to record a single song, right? And then even when it became a little bit more affordable, when everybody started two tracking it, mixing and mastering cost money too, right? So, people that I knew that did mixing, like engineers, man, they were charging like $500 to mix a record, right? Masters were costing like $500. Masters were costing like $500 to mix a record, right? So it was like 500 to mix, 500 to master, all of this money to get it recorded, right? And you had people when you younger, right? You got the older heads who had home studios, right? They had these facilities that younger guys could come in and utilize, right? You could record there, make music there, stuff like that. And this is why I felt compelled to tell this story, right? Because it's just a note to younger artists out there to just be careful, with what situations you get yourself into, because everything isn't always great. Like situations seem great, but a lot of times they're not, right? So speaking from experience, right? My situations were, you young, you don't have no money to be recording your own music and doing all of that stuff yourself. So you go out there, you find people who have those things. You find people who have, home studios. Find people who have, instrumentals, beats for you to rap over, right? They produce all this other stuff. So you come into these situations, you record in their studio, right? And if you recording in their studio, then they own everything, right? So they got the music and you don't, you know? So then when situations arise, right, somebody else wants to sign you or something like that, because a lot of times, like in my situations, right, it was situations where, you know, it's not clear what anybody's objective is, right? So you got somebody that's a producer that is allowing you to record over their beats and y'all making music, but they haven't really specified what it is that they want. So they haven't declared themselves, like they haven't said, hey, I want to be your manager. They haven't said, hey, we're a label and we're trying to sign you as a label, right? None of those things have been specified. So if anybody comes and they want to maybe manage you, or they maybe want to sign you to a label, everybody is kind of funny because they trying to figure out where they fit in, right? And what does this mean for them? So then everybody gets overprotective, so they don't want, it's almost like a crazy dude with his girlfriend, where it's like, why are you looking at my girl, right? They don't want anybody to kind of be talking to you or dealing with you because they scared that they're going to lose this asset, right? Somebody might come steal you away, and then what is left for them, right? So what happens is they start getting real restrictive with the music, right? They won't let you take the music and do nothing with it. They won't let you let other people hear the music, all this other stuff, because they scared what's going to happen when it gets out there, right? And them being left behind. They ain't got no contracts with you, right? So situations that I had in the past, they fizzled out because of things like that, right? Where everybody is nervous, they don't want to lose, the asset, right? So everybody is getting overprotective. So you record this music and then you don't have access to the music because you ain't the one that own it. It's on their machines and stuff like that. So you effectively have to leave your music and walk away, right? And you have that happen once, and then you find yourself in another situation because you're still young and you still ain't got money like that. So you still can't record your own stuff and everything, so you find yourself in a situation where, again, right, you are recording in somebody else's studio when they got control over the music, and they don't want to let you do this and they don't want to let you do that because they're concerned about what it means for them and all this other stuff, right? So you end up out of that situation, and for me, man, I got tired of that, you know, and it was always a challenge with the recording process and getting mixes and getting masters and all that other stuff. And people really cared about that type of stuff, So a lot of people, radio and a lot of people in the industry, they was not gonna like play your music if it wasn't mastered. Like it cut off a lot of opportunities if your music wasn't recorded right and mixed right and stuff like that. And that was just like a real big issue with me, Like I could get songs recorded, but I couldn't get them mixed and mastered and sounding the way that they needed to sound. So a lot of people that was rocking with me and that felt me, there was a lot of opportunities missed, man. Even promoting my music on websites like MySpace and stuff back in the days, I had Fat Beats reach out to me and they wanted to put my music in their stores, right? Like, yo, man, if you get us the record, we'll press up vinyl and do all this other stuff, right? They hit me up on MySpace about that, right? But I didn't have the records mixed and mastered, and you feel self-conscious about that too, because it's like, yo, I don't want to give my music to these people who got these big plans for it and it's not up to snuff, right? So that kind of hindered me with a lot of things, man, So that kind of like made things more difficult for me, and then just trying to figure out, how to make the money, right? To uh pay for all of the things that needed to be done the way that they needed to be done. It was kind of like, okay, cool. Well, I got to do something else to make the money for all of this to happen, right? And I got to kind of like look at this from a business standpoint and try to figure out, how I'm going to basically allow this to pay for itself, right? And that drove me into marketing, right? And web design and all of this stuff that I do right now for other people, right? I started doing this as a basis for paying for the music that I was trying to do, right? So it was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make the money, and then I'm going to put the money in the music, right? And then as life would have it, right, I fell in love with this instead, right? So I started doing marketing and promotion and stuff like that. And then what happens is I stopped getting woke up at 4 in the morning with rhymes, right? Like anybody that's an MC like that, right? Like anybody watching the chat that's an MC like that, they know what I'm talking about. You kind of think and rhyme, you know what I'm saying? When you are MC, you think in rhyme. Like everything that comes across you, you like making up metaphors. You coming with lines, and they just like sit in your head like a Rolodex. So you scribble them down, and then when you're working on songs, you just pulling from it like a well. You know what I'm saying? And you like, okay, I remember that line. I came up with that when we was at that club, and I saw that shorty, and I was like, yo, I made this metaphor like that, and you just are pulling all of that stuff together and stringing it together for your raps and stuff. So it's like you have those types of situations. Everything that you see, you thinking in rap. You got songs waking you up at 4 in the morning, pulling you up out of bed. Like, oh, this is a great idea, right? You mad amped up. You making music. You hear a beat. Start just making you want to rap, and you start writing lyrics and all this other stuff, right? So that's when it's pure, and that's when it's what it's supposed to be, right? When it gets to a point where it's not fun anymore and it feels like work, that's when, everything becomes whack. And that's what it got like for me, right? Doing all of this stuff that I do now became the fun part, and making music became like work. You know what I'm saying? So it was like pulling teeth to make a song. It was like the music just I wasn't just inspired anymore. I wasn't making music because I was inspired to make music. I was pretty much making music because I wanted to test marketing strategies. So it was like, well, I need to put up a song for digital distribution so I can see how this distributor works, and how they uh, analytics work, and how the sales get reported and stuff like that. And that's what was like motivating me to make music, and not like, yo, I got a this burning desire to express myself artistically, and that's why I'm gonna do a song. And once that kind of fizzled out for me from the passion standpoint, I didn't want to cheat the game because I got a lot of respect for the game. I got a lot of respect for music and art in general, where I would never want to undermine it, and get in the way of people who are taking it serious, man, and people who are really motivated to try to make something happen with it, right? So that would be disrespectful to the other MCs that I knew that was trying to do it too. So I was like, yo, man, I'm gonna just fall back, right? And if any of my friends are still trying to do it, if they need my help, I help them, right? And extend my hand to other artists that are coming up that need the help, right? And help them, right? So that's what I did. I kind of just fell back and fell into what my new passion was, which was marketing and analytics and all of that other stuff. Now, do I still get the desire to make music now and then? Sure. Like I hear a beat and be like, "Ooh, like I got something for that." You know what I'm saying? But uh, it goes away quickly. That's all I'm gonna say. It goes away quickly. It don't stick around for too long, man. You know. But yeah, man. Yeah, this game is a challenge, man, and it's hard to kind of like stay in it. So it's like that's why you got to give it to the people who stay around and keep fighting, man, and fight until they become successful, because it's not something that happens overnight, man. It's something that takes years to build, years and years and years to build, you know. And a lot of people don't understand that. They get into this whole thing thinking that it's something that's going to happen overnight, that they're just going to put up a song and bang, they're going to be famous. And it's like, yo, man, that's not the way it works. And then you get what you give, and in regards to what you put out there and what you push out there. So it's like a lot of times, man, and like I said again, that was my challenge, right? Is putting out high quality material, because people perceive you based on the quality of your material. So if you have like high quality music, and I'm not talking about artistically, because you got artistic quality where it's just creative, but I'm talking about from the standpoint that when the people hear it, it sounds comparable to what they hear on the radio. When people listen to a song and it sounds like that, that's when people feel like, oh, this is somebody that's can go somewhere, right? People have the faith in you, right? And they feel like you're somebody that can go somewhere. So when your music sounds that good, right, it positions you better, because you're gonna get less no's. If you go to a radio station, they're more likely to say yes if your music is up to snuff than they are if it's not, right? If you get a music video done and your music video is super high quality and very good, in the way of comparing it to other videos that are out there, from a quality standpoint, then people look at that and they say, oh, wow, this person is somebody. And I've seen that. I've seen that with artists that I work with, right? Who are, kind of like budget artists for the most part, right? Where they don't have a lot of money like that. They're making music videos and stuff, but even they see it. Like if I show them a video from like a client that I got that makes more money, that's investing more money, that's working with like more high end directors, they'll look and they'll be like, oh wow, like yo, like nah, this is something different, right? Because the quality you can tell. And when people see those videos and when people hear those songs, they associate that with like the artists that are established, and that allows them to kind of like let you occupy that space in their head and feel like you're an established act. When your music doesn't hold up to snuff like that, then they feel like uh, uh, this guy is just another guy, right? And they start feeling like that. They start feeling like you're just another guy, you know. So the quality kind of like allows you to be identified as somebody that's really worth people's time. You know, when the quality isn't there, people tend to overlook you. You know, so it's like everybody can make whatever kind of music they want, right? Artistically, we're free to make whatever art we want, and there are no guarantees as to whether something will blow up or not, and anything for anybody. But at the same time, you know, quality plays a major role. You know, quality plays a major role, man. You know, and me, perhaps one day, right? I might get back to making music or whatever, man. I might feel like, yo, man, maybe I want to dive in and do something. I had a feeling the other day, man. The other day I was like, oh, I might want to record something, man. I had tweeted something out, man. I was like, yo, I'm feeling in the mood to record something, man. But like I said, those moods come and go, man. They pass pretty quickly, you know. But yeah, man. What y'all doing out there, man? How y'all doing, man? How y'all holding up in all of this, man? How is it where y'all at? You know, if any, and take this opportunity too, man. Anybody got questions about anything too, man? I'm on my phone. I'm broadcasting from my phone, you know. But yeah, man, you know, how is this whole thing impacting y'all? You going to the studio still? You still recording? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know, like if you don't have a home studio, you know, how's this breaking down for you? You know, can you afford to go to the studio? You know, can you do those things? Are you performing? Are you going to open mics, showcases, or are you just cooped up in the house, you know, doing it that way? You know, and I mean, also, you know, live streaming is an alternative for artists too. This isn't just for people like me. If you want to live stream, you know, you can be live streaming your music too. You know, so what it comes down to is like, you know, is that something that you guys are considering or even trying or attempting to do? Like, what are you doing in this meantime as all of this stuff break down? You know, and I'm gonna check the chat room, see what everybody talking about. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can even see the chats. All right, all right, all right. Let me go back through it. Google. Let me see, personal tips. Google JR, then give me some personal tips. Nah, I can't do that, buddy. I'm on my phone. Long distance traveler was good. JR was good. Edward Flores was good. I thought it was because you an old head and old heads can't relate to young people. Laugh out loud. Edward Flores, nah, man, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. You know, age ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just because you older don't mean you can't make art. Art is just self-expression. So, you know, the audience will meet you wherever you at. You know, so if I was still doing music, I wouldn't be obviously rapping like I'm 18 still. You know, I would be making music for where I'm at. You know, I'll be talking about issues that concern me, you know, and those issues that concern me at whatever age I'm at is going to be concerning other people at whatever age they're at, you know. So it's like you got some young people who are older minded, right? You got young people who are more mature, right? Who are reading the same books older people are reading, watching the same shows, care about the same things, right? So you make music for those people and they're going to respond to it no matter what age range they're in, right? Music is not restricted to any particular age group. You know, like we see that now where you got the retro kids, you got people who are young, but they listen to 90s hip hop. You know, you got people who are young, but they listen to 80s pop, you know, and that 80s pop and that 90s hip hop influence the music that they make, right? And you sit and you ask them who their favorite artists are, and they give you names from the 80s, artists from the 80s, rappers from the 80s, you know, and these people are like 16, 17, you know, but they pull them back because they got YouTube and they can dig into stuff and they can find this stuff and be like, oh wow, this shit isn't this stuff is incredible, right? So back in the day stuff, man, it don't matter essentially. Age don't matter. Word, yo. All that matters is that you be true to yourself. So I never really felt any kind of way about doing music in front of anybody or making music at no age I was at because I always knew, my stuff would pop because my I'm not like regular artists, right? Like I said, I have a different respect level for the game. So it's like when I was doing music, my music was very honest to myself, what I was going through, what was going happening in society. So I was a storyteller. So the things that I would talk about were just stories about life that I around me. Like I had a song called Invisible, which was like the Ramona Moore story. It was a song about a girl in Canarsie, Brooklyn, that had got like basically raped and murdered, right? And the police refused to look for her because she was like black essentially, right? And they were on some racist crap, right? And I was on the train reading that story, right, in the Village Voice, and reading that story inspired the song. So I got home, I called up a friend of mine, Faz. I'm like, yo, man, you got a beat, and he sent me some stuff. I listened to his stuff, I record the song, and that song, I played that for my college professor, when I was in school. And my professor is a old ass man, but he took the song and he went and he found the story and he turned that into part of his course, because he teach sociology and law and stuff like that. So that became part of his course material. So he had all of these students that he would be effectively teaching using that in his class. He would play them the song, he would have them look up the story, right, and write about it. So it don't matter, with age and stuff. All you got to do is be true to you. Yeah, man. Hard gone. Hard gone was good. Black Davis boy was good. And wasn't no guarantee they was going to mix it or master correctly. Yeah, that's another thing too, man. So it's like we got mad songs. I got mad stuff on my computer right now, man, that I went to actual studios to record and it still came out like garbage. So you spent money to go to the studio to record songs and it still don't come out good. You don't know who to trust. You don't know, where to go. You got no guidance, man. So you just throw money in the wind effectively. True artists never stop creating. They may not release music, but the mind is always creating, sequencing, putting concepts together, etc. Yeah, man. It'll never go away. It'll never go away. We can relate because we've been through some of what you've experienced first. Word, man. I know a lot of artists have been through it, bro. A lot of artists have been through it because we are creators. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're not the ones that have the power and all of that other stuff, in even the studios and stuff, man. So, you work with people and they have the power over you because they got the material, they got the studio, they got all this different stuff. And then you find yourself in a challenging position. Long distance traveler was good. Making music is a young man's game. Dr. Dre. Maybe not, right? Hov is 50 plus and still dropping. Jay Electronica is in his 40s with his debut album. Why do rock stars get to perform, make music till they old, but rappers can't? Not rappers can. I'm just saying. I didn't say I stopped because of my age. I just stopped because of all these other issues surrounding it, right? And the fact that I fell in love with something else. So me stopping ain't got nothing to do. Why I stopped ain't got nothing to do with age. All right, man. J Rego was good. Video 4.0 was good. J Rego, I know where I track at. Yeah, man. Yo, J Rego, man, send me something, man. Maybe I dust off the old throat or whatever. Pause. Right? Maybe, maybe we could get it popping, man. You send me some beats, man, and I see, man. If I'm feeling up to it, man, I'll put something together. No promises though. Word up, yo. And this is an impromptu stream, man. This wasn't nothing planned. I was just like, yo, man, let me just jump on here and see what's up. I figured people might be home today, right? Where all this stuff is going on. Dave Moss says we can lock in and get something going, my G. Let me know. Yeah, yo. I mean, it's whatever, man. And the studio streets are dry. Yeah, man. I'm late. Past pace 10, King Esh, right? J Rego looking comfy out there. It's raining out here. Oh, it's raining in Cali? C Prime, you still got a gift. When you talk, it sounds like you're rapping. I mean, yo, for most of my life, I identified as that. So it's like it's not something that I can turn it off. I can turn it off, man. That's like, it's just, now it's like a part of me, effectively. I've quarantined myself in inside my studio for safety purposes. That's a good bet. Quality is key. Was good. Long distance traveler. I have a home studio, so it works as usual. Still in the studio, both home and away. Still gonna travel until they stop that. Ah, I'm still in the yo. I opened up an office for my publishing company in Panama City, Florida, my hometown, to help artists, too. I want to fly out and meet you in person. I learned a lot from you. Ah man, that would be great. I mean, I think I floated the idea before, man, of me just doing in-person stuff, man. But now, we gotta wait, for all of this stuff to kind of subside to pull it off, man. Because of all of this thing going on with these travel restrictions and everything, man. Word, yo. It's even on their game card and Agenda 21. I'm not sure what that's about. Rob Lowe says, yeah, but the music buying public is the youth. Old heads got bills and don't cop music anymore. Not true, bro. If you look at people like what's that guy name? The butcher, and a lot of these old heads, man, they making money a lot more money than a lot of the young people, because with the young people, it's about popularity. It's not really about the quality of the music and fandom. It's about popularity. So if you are one of the young heads that are fortunately enough to find yourself popular, right, like a little Uzi Vert or something like that, then yeah, you can make a lot of money. But the young heads that can't find popularity like that, they're not making no money, like none. You know what I'm saying? They're getting like $40 a month or $20 a month from streaming, and that's it. But the older heads, right? Like if you go on Bandcamp, you see the older artists that selling to older people. Those people got good ass jobs. You know what I'm saying? And they got money. So they're spending $40 on vinyl records, right? They're spending $50, $60 on a hoodie, right? They coming out the concert, spending $20, $30 at a show, buying merch when they at the show, And I worked the merch table at one of them shows, man. They making like $1,000 a night at the merch table alone. So don't sleep, man. Older heads got money. The young people are broke. When you see these young dudes do shows, they charging $5 at the door. When the older people do shows, it's like $20, $30. Streaming your music and concert is going to be one of the most profitable ways music artists get paid. I mean, streaming is a challenge because people think about video content online as being free, right? And that's going to be the challenge. It's kind of like breaking through that hurdle. Now, it's not a challenge to break through that hurdle when you have demand, because if you have demand and people want something bad enough, then you can charge what you want for it. But just being like an unestablished act, right, and jumping out the gate and trying to charge people, to see you perform online through a live stream, that's probably not going to work. Lord Rose says, I'm in Indiana and I'm a full-time artist and coffee shop owner. I had to shut down shop on Friday. I had to transfer some of my equipment home. I also am a studio engineer, so I have been mixing at home. All right, cool, man. Yeah, B. I mean, everything, I think a lot's gonna change, from this point on in regards to automation and in regards to, just a lot more machines doing a lot more work, for everybody, because people ain't gonna want to be around people. I do 90s music, right? My main demographic is 18 to 34. I was surprised. I mean, the Sun Collective. I mean, what tells you that your demographic is 18 to 24? Because as far as I know, right, stats can be incredibly misleading, right? Because especially if you're looking at stats on something like a Spotify or something like that, because Spotify, you get your music on playlists, right? And playlists are reflecting the demographic of the people who are streaming the playlist, right? It's reflecting the demographic of the people that streaming the playlist and not necessarily the fans of yours. So it's like if you want to get to the demographics of your actual fans, you got to look at stuff like who are the people who are like what's the age demographic of the people that follow you on those platforms, like follow you on Spotify, right? What's the age demographic of the people that save your music to their library, which they don't show you, right? So the only way that you could kind of know that is to kind of like, and this is the thing too about, garbage in, garbage out, right? Like if you've been uh doing a lot of funny stuff to get your Instagram numbers up, then that data is inaccurate, right? Because you can't really rely on that and say, okay, here's my demographic because this is what my Instagram following is. If people didn't just follow your Instagram because they like your music. So if you like been following people to get follows, or you just hired some company to somehow get you a bunch of followers, and it wasn't because you put out records and people heard the records and decided to go look you up and follow you. If that's not your following, then you probably can't trust those Instagram numbers. And Spotify, you can't dig into the stats and separate, this the demographics that come from streams and radio from the people who are streaming from their library and that follow your account. So you can't really trust that data unless all of your streams, or like 80% of them, are coming from user libraries. If 80% of your streams are coming from user libraries, then that data is a bit more accurate, right? If not, then you can't really trust that for so much. So I think one of the best places to kind of like actually identify your demographic and stuff is like Apple Music. You know what I'm saying? And even in the way of demographics, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really age, man, so much as it is who else those people listen to. That's important. So you want to basically be able to see what's the similar artists are, what your similar artists are. Lord Dro says, besides that, I'm happy about interest rates coming down to zero. All right, man. Business. Gift, I'll be disappointed if you stop making music. I know it's tough, but come on. Where are your songs, your stage name, your fave song? Let me check it out. Crazy, crazy. That track hit. You got a favorite artist? Why did you stop? Bet. Gift, you look 23. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Compliments, man. Rob Lowe. Maybe I'll dust off the old throat. Pause. What's your opinion on the music industry today? Is it going in the right direction or not? I mean, I just feel like it was going in a bad direction for a way, but now you got some young dudes, man, that are kind of carrying the torch and coming with it, man. I know me, and the way that I came up, not knocking nobody, because everybody got a right to make the music that they make. But I mean, from an artist standpoint, with me, and if you're an MC, you kind of understand what I'm talking about, man. And that's like, yo, I got to be able to talk to you and talk to you where you kind of like, yo, listen, anybody in there that's a rapper, man, that's an MC. Y'all know about the zone, right? Y'all ever been in the zone, where it's like you're just black, like you black out. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, man, you someplace else lyrically, right? Where you just going off. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like line after line after line, you kind of going in, man. And it's almost like you get this energy, man, like this, like you ever play Street Fighter and you see like Raul glow, right? That Hadouken, right? It's like you get that energy, that charge up, and you just feel that light around you, right? And you feel that fire around you, where you just like, oh, I'm going, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta be able to, we got to be able to identify with that, right? Like when I talk about that, if you can't be like, yeah, I've been in that zone before, yeah, I understand that, then you probably ain't the kind of rapper that I rock with like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's all sorts of different types of music, and a lot of it sounds okay. You can knock your head to it, but that's the type of rappers that I respect the most, right? And those are the type of people that I listen to, and that's the type of music that I rock with. You know what I'm saying? Where you be listening and you be like, oh, now that guy, he's in his zone. He's in his zone. Yeah, man. Age is no factor in music at work. Ah, frustrate man spitter. What's good, my guy? You at work, man? That's what's up. Yeah, be safe out there, man. That's all I say, man. Be safe, be careful, man. What kind of beats inspire you or inspired you as an artist? Curious what moves you, gets you uh what I mean, the thing that always inspired me as an artist was just soul music, man. Like anything that got a feel to it. Like I know I rap over anything, and I'm moved by a lot of different stuff. But I know me, and when I make music, it's emotion, so I need music that's emotional, right? Because then I can translate what I'm feeling over it. So music isn't emotional, then it's gonna be hard to kind of like make something to it, because then I'm gonna be thinking in my head too much, right? Because I mean, I don't write, right? First off, right? I make music. When I'm making music, I'm like this, right? This is me working on a song, right? Back and forth, walking around, back and forth, walking around the house, right? Thinking of lines, right? And I think of a line and that line gets stuck and I recite that line in my head and then add to it and add to it and add to it and add to it and add to it until I got a song, right? And I got to be moved in order to do that, right? That music got to hit me and get me up and keep me moving in order to do that. I can't make music sitting down writing. I never could, right? I was never good at that. I never wrote a song sitting down that I ever used. I never used any song. I got a ton of rap books full of lyrics and songs that I never recorded or did anything with because they would just go in and out, right? The only songs that stuck were the songs I never wrote down, the ones that I just did on my feet. So that's the way I kind of move and operate. Word, man. I like Tech Nine's music. His flow is crazy. Yeah, Tech Nine can rap, man. True that. Yeah, yeah, you right. My guy, you should put your music videos on your educational channel because you've been on YouTube for a minute. People would have supported you. Nah, man. I mean, I didn't want to do that, right? Because this is not for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not somebody using, give helping artists out for the purpose of promoting my music. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I had a time for that. I had a time to do music, right? And I moved past that, and now I'm doing this, right? And if I decide to do music, right, again, it'll be about the music, right? And I am a purist to some extent, right? I want people to rock with the music because they rock with the music. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody feeling obligated, to kind of like blow smoke up my ass and be like, yo, Gifford, this is hot because they want a certain kind of relationship with me from this space, right? Where I've seen that, man. I've been around for a long time, been in networks, where everybody, people got radio stations and they do music, and then everybody tell them their music is amazing because they want to get on a radio show, right? Somebody got a blog and they do music, and everybody tell them their music is amazing because they want to get on a blog, right? I was never like that as an artist. I don't care what you got going on. If you whack, you whack, and I'm not doing no songs with you or nothing like that because I don't respect you as an artist. I don't care what position you in, right? And that's just the way that I roll. And that is the kind of way that I roll with anybody that I have a relationship with. I don't want nobody being like that with me neither, right? I don't want nobody feeling like, oh, okay, well, maybe if we work together, maybe, he'll do this solid for me or whatever have you, right? It's about if I work with somebody, it's about the music, right? And if somebody likes the music, it's about the music. You know what I'm saying? So even if I recorded a song, I wouldn't like push it here. I wouldn't be on Pay Us No Mind channel like, yo guys, I got a new song out, check it out. I would promote it like I would promote a song for a client. I would run ads for it, right? I would do that type of stuff and get people to listen to it and build a fan base like that. Anybody that looked up my music or something like that, they might find it, but you would never see it here. When you get back in music, we're gonna have to collab. What's good out there? The Sun Collective. You made me go check my Spotify stats on demographics. 60% of plays are from libraries, so 50% are 18 to 34. I am still surprised. This 90s music. I mean, you also got the fact that the demographics are going to reflect who uses the platform. So older people, for the most part, don't use Spotify. If you're older, you're probably using Amazon Music or Pandora. Do you ever hear frequencies? Nah, man, I don't really hear frequencies like that. I'm not a technical person. You know what I'm saying? I'm more feeling. I'm not so much like that's part of the reason why I can't record my own music, right? Because, people will be like, yo, man, you got to cut frequency this or whatever because, static is at this frequency or yo, you got a lot of bass in your voice. And if you cut the highs, all of that stuff like that, man, I can't wrap my head around it. Oh, shit, that was wrong. I ain't mean to do that. Can I? Somebody, man, I deleted your question or whatever by accident. So Gutter Productions, man. Whatever question you posted, man, I deleted by accident. My bad, bro. J Rego, bet. Long distance traveler. And a recent interview, guitarist Eric Johnson talked about how he feels the role of music has changed from an intense. Oh, let's see where we was at. From an intense listening experience to more of a passive groove for your day-to-day life. Yeah, it kind of has, man. I mean, you're not sitting with the music by itself no more. The music always plays background to something else. So the music is on while you're working out, or the music is on while you're cleaning up. It's never a time like me and my friends, man, back in the days, we used to go and sit in the hallway and blaze up, right? And just listen to music. And that's what we would do, right? When we were teenagers, we sit in the hallway and play music. Panasonic boombox. You got, incarcerated Scarfaces blasting, Black Moon, that type of stuff, man. And you rocking out to it. And we just like the words are just sinking in, and we kind of live by that music. So it's like that music, you know, is what kind of shaped us, it shaped our process of thought. It shaped the way we dress. It shaped our self perception. It shaped everything because those words really impacted us. You know, Jay Rego said that's dope as f that you make songs like that. That's a gift, no pun intended. I perform. I performed with Tech Nine. He cool, trippy and cool, and the goat of lyricism on the West Coast over here. Remember when Mac Dre died, it became an issue with KC. Not too familiar with that, but I know, that uh I know he get down though. He could rap, yo. You write like Hove does. That's how he writes. Rick Rubin explained it in the Jay-Z Fade to Black documentary. Yeah, I know, man. There's a lot of MCs that rap like that, man. Writing is just writing in your head. It's still writing. You're just writing in your head. You know what I'm saying? You're just writing in your head, man. Word, yo. But I jumped on real quick, man. I'm gonna get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yo. Tomas, J Rego, man, y'all send me something, man. Send me something. Let's see what happens. Word up, yo. Y'all be safe out there, man, with all of this craziness going on, man. Just make sure you prepared. Make sure you have however many supplies you need to last you for the long haul, man. You know, I'm gonna get up out of here. Much appreciated, everybody. Peace. One.